All right, we are live. Well, let's get on with it. I don't know if I have to put a new link out or not. Where's how do you share this? Share stream. Here we go. Let me post a link real quick out to the Facebook.
On actual Facebook?
Yeah, because everybody that was watching before is watching on that old link. This is basically a brand new one. If not, they can watch it later.
Oh, dude, this
Anyway,
came up on my Facebook. That's wild. No,
crazy.
I'm looking at myself on the live on Facebook. Oh goodness.
That's trippy. All right, so tonight, Edgar Casey, Sleeping Prophet. I want to talk about prophet. How do you say that word?
Prophetic.
Prophetic dreams. There we go. Because I know Josh or Mr. JB333 and myself have had these dreams all of our lives. For me, it's reoccurring dreams about massive waves and tsunamis, earthquakes, windstorms, and whatever, volcanoes. Basically, I've dreamed it all. How about you? What have you seen?
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, I used to talk with my aunt about it and tell her my dreams and tell my mom my dreams. Like I used to have like apocalyptic biblical style dreams of like flaming carriages coming out of the sky and like, dude, just like dreams of hell on earth. Like I used to tell my mom when I was a kid that I was going to be left behind to help, you know, help people find the light after the tribulations and all that stuff. You know, the stuff that regular kids don't really think about, I'm sure, but
Right? I mean, even me, when I was so young, I've mentioned this before. I didn't even know what a tsunami was. I'd never even seen the ocean yet. I was having dreams about water coming up over houses and into the mountains just for no reason. And even like I said, even as late as the last two nights, both nights I've had dreams about waves as well. One
mhm.
being a just random whatever, and last night was because of some really bad storms. But I don't know any storms I could kick up waves higher than houses. It's just like a
Right.
super hurricane or something.
I mean, that's probably one of the major fears of many people is that it gets down to like is your dreams, are they trying to tell you something, or are we dealing with just random gobbledygook that your mind conjures up?
Well, that's what brings me to Edgar Casey. He was known as the sleeping prophet. Are we like him, or are there others that have these abilities as well? Or is he unique and we're unique? I mean, how common is it to have these kind of dreams?
I don't mean, it depends. I think this is going to be one of those things that goes from person to person. So while you may have like, for example, the ability to lucid dream, the ability to essentially become God inside your own dreams by realizing you're dreaming. First of all, some people not believe that's real at all. Some people look at it like that's not possible. But you can't experience that unless you have experienced it. I mean, you can't know about it. You know what I mean? You're not going to believe it until you experience it. But I think there's no one size fits all as far as dreams would go.
Yeah, you're kind of referring to lucid dreaming, where you know you're dreaming while you're dreaming. But like when these kind of dreams, I'm not aware I'm dreaming. It's just kind of happening in a moment. But it's crazy.
It has meaning, and Yahweh will reveal it to you when He wants you to know. I do honestly think that if you want to call it the divine, whoever you want to call it, does speak to you through dreams, and it can't be you can't be given a straight answer. And you know this, I know this, and you know the reason why. Do you know the reason why you can't be given a straight answer? What would it affect?
Everything. The way you
So,
live. I mean, why would you bother going to work or living your normal life if you know you're about to die?
well, like the idea of like, why is it like God can't simply tell you the answer to your problem?
Oh, free will.
Right. It would affect your free will. So like you're given a complex thing to figure out, And it's up to you to figure out whether, hey, this is something that's going to happen in my future. This is something that's going to happen in the world's future. This may be something maybe I'm not dealing with right now. But if you really want to get, into your own subconscious and understand yourself, like analyzing your dreams, starting to write them down is a real strong way of doing that, because like dream interpretation is fascinating. Like,
It definitely is. My screen's backwards. Yeah, well,
voice breaking up, could be my earbuds. I mean, it could be our crappy connection we got going on here. But
it was breaking up a little bit too. It was showing your signal getting a little bit lower. I think your internet might not be quite as good as mine.
I'm wired in. That's the crazy thing. Like, I literally have like 2 gigabit network speed
Damn,
wired
you got
right into
faster
my
than me
thing.
then. You got faster than me then. Shoot.
It's just
Oh,
crazy because I do have problems. I think they throttle my connection. I got a lot of
peak
people gaming in
hours.
the house too, though, so that could be it.
Yeah. Plus it's peak hours where you're at. You're like 3 hours behind me, so it's probably right in your areas feeding off of the internet in your area. I mean, we can
That
get
could
by.
be.
It works. It's fine right now. All right, let's see what else we got here. So I had a whole thing on Edgar Casey, but I closed it when I reset my browser. Crap.
Yeah, one of the things you brought up to me earlier is my man crush, right? David Wilcock, who I was pretty much obsessed with this dude for quite a while, and like it's like I used to talk about all the different books that I read by him, and he claims that he is the reincarnation of Edgar Casey. And again, I don't know, for all those that don't know who Edgar Casey was, like I don't have the thing written down, but you're right, he was called the sleeping prophet, and he was claimed to be able to access what's called the Akashic records.
Yes. And basically, that's all the knowledge of the universe supposedly exists on the astral plane.
Right, but this dude was able to like visit people and diagnose them remotely. Like, he was able to, like, hey, this, we got a patient that's million or many miles away, and this person was able to essentially diagnose and get it right dang near every
Hmm.
time. So how many times do you get a coincidence for it being right? You know what I mean? Maybe a couple here and there, but when you get, I think,
Every time.
hundreds.
Hmm.
Men in Black.
Well, what's interesting is that a lot of what people call prophets use other methods of seeing or foresight, like Nostradamus would go into trances. Others would, breathe in the fumes from volcanoes or whatever. But Edgar Casey would just basically go to sleep and dream and have these visions.
Yep. I mean, so speaking of like something like a trance state, that is something that any one of us has the capability of entering. It's just a matter, it's a thing that's been lost to humanity. So if you get really, really good at meditation, you can enter a trance state at will, and you can do things like leave your body. This is,
Hmm.
scientifically documented.
That is true. I mean, as for travel, people who are very dedicated to it, I don't have the, what's the word? Whatever. I can't meditate because my mind's constantly racing. I can't shut it off. I mean, discipline. I don't have the discipline to actually focus and achieve those unless I'm dreaming or asleep.
Right. So I actually found out recently when I was taking a little mini course on the internet for meditation that it's actually a myth that you need to quiet your mind in order to meditate. So it's okay to think, what the whole reason, the whole point of meditation is to bring yourself to the moment that you're in, is to
Yes.
focus on the moment. That is the entire purpose of meditation, and not be outside of yourself, but be here in this moment right now. And that's where you're
Yes.
taking conscious control over your mind instead of you letting your subconscious control you. Does that make sense?
That's exactly how the Taoists do it. They believe in living in the moment, not the past or the future, but in the moment, which is really hard to comprehend.
Just practice button in your defense. You also fall asleep.
Hmm.
Fall asleep easy and fast. Not me.
I don't take much. I could be sitting here on my computer trying to study, and before I know it, I'm waking up. Like, when did I fall asleep?
Passing out in the worst spots at the wheel and stuff. I have a coworker that be passing out randomly all the time.
Definitely ain't quite that bad. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see. Let me get some. I got the. So I pulled up a Chat GBT list of all the. If anybody has never taken the time to really mess with Chat GBT, I strongly recommend that you do it.
It is amazing.
Communicate with it. It is wild. Like it is wild the things that it comes up with, and you can have it analyze you and tell you like different areas that maybe you're not succeeding in, like based on your conversations. It's wild. I had it write a whole resume for me. Like, but
That's a good idea, actually.
yeah, I can teach you how to get through the resume barrier where we work.
But resume is usually fine. It's my interviewing that sucks.
Well, well, it might be able to teach you how to interview. I don't know. I
It
don't
could.
know, sir.
But at this point, I'm moving off from where I'm currently at, as you know, and going to school.
Right, right.
Maybe
So
I can
some of the
write some sort of.
dreams that you've had lately, besides like tidal waves, you had like something about you said earthquakes. What is
There was
it?
an earthquake that caused a tidal wave in the dream, which is more liable to happen if you live on the coastline. Like where
Right.
you're at with the Cascadia subduction zone, that's a dangerous fault line near where you're at there in the Pacific Northwest. They're saying it can
Mm-hmm.
cause 100-foot tsunamis that come in there.
Oh no, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, like every time I see on the news, that a crazy storm has hit somewhere, like it really makes me think of just how fragile we are as humans.
Hmm.
Like there's no doubt that we could be wiped off this planet in the blink of an eye.
Oh shoot!
And I think, not to go off completely off the rails here, but that is exactly what has happened many times over and over again in the past.
It has happened before, and it will happen again.
Yeah,
It's starting to auto tune on us.
start up.
That's what it sounds like when
Oh
your mic starts going out, just like your auto tuning.
my God, so lame. I see my connection. See, they're throttling my connection, dude. It's a freaking conspiracy against me.
Better set up a firewall and limit your stuff.
Your voice seems to go backwards like a record from back then. Yeah, that's what
Auto
it is.
tuning,
It's really it's like the devil music when you play it backwards. You're getting like satanic little things.
which is a real thing too. Yeah, what it is when your signal starts to degrade a little bit, it affects the voice quality and video, of course, but it
So
eventually
weird
comes back.
again. What like wired completely into this mofo.
That is weird. You might have to do some maintenance on your computer, like clean out the cache or something, dump the cookies, and
So I need to update my resume. Thank you for that tip. What is it? And it was free. So you can go. Yeah, ChatGPT is mostly free, and I mean I haven't reached the limit of using it, and for the unpaid version, and I use it quite a bit. So, but
I've
it's
used it. It's been a while.
pretty it's pretty honestly pretty easy to use. Like you could just take your literally copy and paste your whole resume in there and be like, hey, make this more professional, add this. It will literally spit it all out in 5 seconds.
Well, it's gotten quite popular, Chat GBT.
They're starting the fake alien invasion, but nobody listens to me. So I do kind of agree with that. As soon as the government started releasing all of the documents, I do think that they are going to try to push a fake alien invasion because that is the one thing that would unite the populace against is a common enemy, right? So how can you rile up your people? You bring them against somebody else, but I don't know.
That
So
is true. We have the technology now with AI. They can do three-dimensional holograms using drones. I mean, it's not hard.
no, yeah, there's the tech. The tech is out there. Like with again, I've seen some of the AI created videos lately, and you cannot tell the difference. Damn near.
No.
Some of them, obviously, you can, but if you think of what they give the access or give the public access to, think about what they have behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what they say. The government our own military is at least 100 years more advanced than what they let out in public.
Watcher Mr. MB3. I do watch his videos actually. Mr. MB333. I like that guy.
He does a lot of fear mongering, in my opinion, though, too.
He does. So I try to stay away from any of the fear mongering stuff because just like the path that my like idol guy went down, David Wilcock, like he went down a path of it's fear mongering and like this is what's going to happen. And see, the fact is you cannot accurately predict what exactly is going to happen on the negative path. You can't tell me that this is going to go down like you're following, that's you can't predict it. And it's crazy because again, I'm obsessed with the book series The Law of One, so is he. That's what got me obsessed with it. And as they say repeatedly, if you're given negative spiritual kind of information, that it is not from a positive source, that is from a negative source.
That makes
Like
sense, yeah. Why would something positive give you negative stuff?
exactly.
Like, is it a negative entities putting these dreams into my head, making me fear that, oh God, we're going to die in a tsunami?
You know that could very well be the case.
Mm,
Remember, there's always two paths, two sides of the coin. And if you look at what's going on, it's always a war for your soul, right? Like one
yes.
side wants you to choose the self-serving path, one side wants you to choose your own path and choose the service to others path.
Well, that's what I'm confused. Is it to put a warning out and give a heads up, or is it to spread fear? I mean, it could go either way.
There's a video of the Greg but so Stephen Greer, that guy is a genius.
He is. I
And
like him.
he has been working in the disclosure project for many, many, many years. And if there's anybody to believe, is that dude.
Yes,
Like he is vetted. He's got a lot of people, like a lot of stuff, a lot of receipts to back up what he's saying,
he's
and
trustworthy.
very, very trustworthy. And that's what when it really boils down to on this whole UFO thing, like if you really start to believe it, like if you truly believe what he's saying, that means that our entire history is a lie. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
there's no doubt about
Like
that already.
it's just news already planning on the minds of sleep. Yeah, there's so I look at pretty much everything. Which one? Latest from Mr. May. I'll watch it. I'm game. We'll watch it right
She loves
now.
that guy like you like David Wilcock.
I think, dude, I have watched some of his stuff. I think some of his stuff is good. Again, I tend to be very like seclusive on, or not seclusive, but selective on what I watch now because I don't necessarily like to go down the Armageddon style path because once I go down the Armageddon, I'm like, what the hell matters? None of this matters, and I don't want to go to
Quit your
work. I
job.
don't want to do anything. Like screw it all.
Then 20 years later, you're like, it never happened. I wasted all that time.
Yeah, I had my friend commented on my last video that we did. We're talking about how I feel like the world's going to end in our lifetime. He
Yeah.
disagreed, and I like the way he disagrees because he puts forth information like, hey, this is why I disagree based on this, this, and this. You know, like that is how we should talk with each other and how we disagree because nobody can accurately know when the world's going to end. That's what I feel inside.
Yeah, it could be in 5 minutes right now, or it could be in 30 years. We don't know. It might not happen in our lifetime. We just feel that.
Please watch it. She doesn't believe, what are we talking about? Doesn't believe
Don't believe what?
in ETs.
She believes they're demons, which is possible.
So, dude, I think that the whole ET thing goes way deeper than anybody's prepared. So I do think that we are dealing like aliens and demons, angels and demons, aliens, etc. Those are all linked. All of it is. And what we see as, demons, essentially interdimensional beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easier to classify them as demons because that is, that keeps you in that religious mindset, which is fine. It's fine to believe because that gives you strength, right? Like I tend to look at it like they could very well be demons. Like, but there are
Or
also, I
just
think there is
one and the
angelic
same.
extraterrestrials.
Maybe it's one and the same. It's just a title. It could be demons, could be aliens. Aliens could be demons. It's just a title they're given. It could be the same thing.
Right. I mean, realistically, if you came from heaven, that would be not of this earth. So that's you're extraterrestrial at that point.
Yeah.
So maybe God is an extraterrestrial.
People have thought that. Or what they call God.
Maybe God is the sun.
Not a literal
Boom.
son.
Boom. Quite. I would say so. Yeah, that's what it boy. That's what I think. You can boil my whole idea down to one thing: that we are literally pieces of the sun experiencing itself. Like the sun is also sprung. Okay, the sun is the sun of a bigger sun, right? And
Right.
it goes like so on and so forth and so forth. We are literally the logos or whatever, the mind of the galaxy experiencing itself. We were
Yeah.
created in order to know itself. And that's what we are in infinite forms across infinite space.
That makes sense. Because even in Buddhism, they refer to planets as higher level beings.
But get down to brass tacks, you don't necessarily
Oh, you're being
know all of
censored.
that.
You
What
went
you need to
offline.
know. Oh, I'm dying.
You'll be back in a minute.
Well, back
Hopefully. It's like you're being censored there, Josh. You're going
they're
offline.
trying to fucking silence me. Trying to silence me for speaking about the law of one.
I mean, they're watching.
So all is connected yet so far. Like I'm glad you said that. So in every hero story, right? There's always an all is lost moment, and then tipping point. You know, like the end comes in, and you got the White Knight and saves the day and rescues the princess, whatever. I think that it's important to focus on the positives of the world rather than the negatives. There's always going to be more positive than negative. You just have to look. We've been trained to see only the negative because that's what the news and everybody programs us to see.
Yes. 'Cause all they talk about is the negative. They don't ever promote positive stuff.
There goes your record.
Oh, this means your audio is cutting out.
Oh,
Yeah, so when you have no connection right now.
oh, geez.
Or we can hear you, but your video is choppy.
Positive, it's negative. It is. You're right. Like that's the truth. That's what a lot of people see. My mom sees the same thing, and it's like if you are a perceptive person, obviously you're going to pick up on all the negativity in the world. But I definitely, if you feel that way, I would turn off the freaking news. Don't watch any TV. Don't watch any of this crap because all it is programming now. They're trying to program us to be against each other because we're
Yeah.
at a tipping point in our world where humanity is now at the position to make a choice between a technological afterlife and the regular spiritual afterlife. You know what I mean? But
Like making a copy
America,
of yourself.
right?
Yeah, it's all very interesting and scary and exciting. Like I believe the third dimension, or what we exist at least, is on a lower end of the vibrational state, which is more negative than positive.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, the law of one when it said that we are starting to go through the like this planet is starting to become the next phase of existence. It says like 150 to 250 years, and it's going to be there's an influx of all kinds of energies, and it's obviously going to be a battle between it's a scale. There's obviously negative and there's obviously positive. It's the way it works. There has to be.
Hmm.
It can't just be positive.
It has to be balance, yin and yang.
I agree. Spirit, no question, no doubt in my mind. There's no technological afterlife for me.
Oh shit,
Like
no. And even
we
then, how would you know?
are.
Is it actually you, or is it a digital copy? There's no way to know.
Yep. I think you just go on believing. I'm not afraid of confused. I don't know, no matter what. It's meant to be confusing. That's the most important point. We're not meant to know everything. No matter what you read, we are meant to be confused and know that essentially we are all one, and we're supposed to, believe in a higher power. That's it. That's all you need. What if we are the copies? That's probably the truth, actually.
Well, let me get your thoughts on this because my sister actually wonders too, and she's heard that when you die and you go into the light, that going to the light is actually a trap. You're supposed to turn away and go the other way.
Yeah, so that is actually from like there's a yogi that said that. So the what Jesus was really trying to teach us was the answer to reincarnation. So we reincarnate. Energy does never, never is created, never dies. And the answer is to walk away from that. You're not supposed to go to the light. You're supposed to walk away, and then you essentially go to the next phase of existence. I don't know how to explain it other than, but that's what I've heard as well.
In the way we
But
see it, when you're going towards the light, you're going towards the birth canal, and that's you being reborn again.
yep, firm believer. But that's something that it's hard to really see that. So like some people, like when they have the light, right? They're going to have their families there. There's going to have people with their arms out reaching for them. And that's like
That's
the
the
trap.
doctors in the
You know what I
hospital.
mean? That's the doctors in the hospital, right? I don't
Here it
know.
comes. I see the head.
I see the head. It's coming back out. No, I'm back here again.
So, in your opinion, then, if you when the time comes and you're in the tunnel and you see the light, you're gonna go away from the light.
It's hard to say. You can't really know what's going to happen until you're actually there, right?
Yeah, you're like I've been told forever. You go towards the light, but at the same time, is it a trap? I mean, can you look back and kind of see what's there and make a decision?
We are taught we are separate. That actually brings me to my exact point. If you really understand what Jesus is trying to teach, he's trying to teach us that all of us are one. We are not separate. We are literally, fractals of an infinite consciousness. We are fractals of God experiencing itself. And to know that everybody that you meet is literally just a different aspect of that God,
Of
that's what
yourself.
you have to recognize. You have to treat every single person as though they are you. That's what he's trying to teach. You want, the answer to stop coming back here, you need to live in service of others. That's what it is. You have the choice between service to others and service to self. If you
Yes.
pick your family and your stuff like that, you're serving yourself. Essentially, you're serving your own interests instead of serving the creator. It's hard to freaking explain, but like the yogi guy explained
Yeah.
it really well.
You need to find or let me know what this yogi guy is. We can do some research. Maybe
There's
do a
so
show on
he
him.
essentially was in a deep meditation, and he died, so to speak, and he had the choice of three different paths, and he chose none of them. He chose to stay on Earth a little bit longer and came back. So he died and then chose to stay where he was at to continue his teachings, I guess. But I have zero reason to doubt that dude's telling the truth.
They say yogis are really wise. They know the stuff. And even Jesus went down that path for a while. Not Jesus, Buddha went down that path for a while. But then he decided they were too focused on one specific task. And according to Buddha, you want to be kind of balanced.
Looks like I'm rinsing and repeating. But dude, like that's what like if you get down to the core teachings of Christianity, it's literally in service to other people. Like you're serving the creator, but you're also serving others. You're helping others. Like it's that's really what Jesus was teaching. Like, I don't know.
What it used to bother me when I was younger, at least, that eventually you go back to the source. And to me, it felt like you're being absorbed and you're no longer you anymore. But as you get more wise to it, you're not just you anymore. You're actually going back to your original self. So you're still
Mhm.
you in a sense.
Yeah,
But at the
we
same
are
time, if God only exists and we're all just copies or fractals, eventually, if we all go back to the source and become one again, are we alone floating around in space? I mean,
there. I don't know. There's no way to know that. We're not meant to know. You know what I mean? It's just like trying to think about the idea of God itself. Like, why does God exist? What created God? Why? What it just has always existed. So that's one of those things that there's a block. Like I can't think about it. No matter how hard I try, I'm like, why? You know what I
We're not
mean?
meant to know. Yeah. I mean, I've met divine beings in my sleep before. I've seen Buddha. I didn't talk to him, but I've seen him. I've seen Jesus. I've seen who's one of these other Indian gods, Vishnu or something. I've seen him before, Kuan Yin. I've experienced all these different beings, so I know they're out there. But to what purpose? I mean, is there maybe we're in a school now, but maybe the source is also in a school, and there's other beings doing the same thing, and there's this trillions of alternate universes where these beings are all split into different fractals. And when we go back to the
Hmm.
source, we're back in the school. So basically, you're still individual. Yeah,
The way I look at all these different beings is that, again, that goes to the extraterrestrial idea. We are dealing with a universe where that look like us, there's people that take any forms conceivable, any forms possible. So, like all these different so-called gods or whatever that have, visited mankind, be it in dreams that you experience them through meditation, like people have written about them. Like I think that all of them are real. It's just a matter, different aspects. But all of them will say that they worship something higher. They worship to me, that strengthens the idea about a singular source, singular God. But
yeah. But what? How far does it go though? When we dream, do we create fragments of ourselves? And our dream versions are worshiping us, and where it is. How many levels are there? I mean, yeah, it just blows your mind.
it's infinite, bro. Infinite,
Good answer.
infinite. I think that just like when I was looking into the prison and tried to escape, and then my brain was broken. Like I think that whatever is us is being fractaled into multiple different versions so we can experience different things at the same time, different lives. Like there was one time where I morphed into myself and I was like living a life as a woman. I was one time, dude,
I've done
I'm
that.
telling you, I went through like different freaking beings and I was unable to get back to myself. That is why I used to use, like, again, high doses of THC oil. Like that's what the shamans used to do, to
Hmm.
go on like vision quests. Like it can be done. And
Hmm.
these receptors exist inside of our minds,
And
for a
that's why they're
reason.
illegal, so you can't access those planes.
Yep. They want us to be machines to just work, be smart enough to work the minds and work the machines and not enough to ask questions. They want
Just
good
like the
little
Anunnaki
obedience.
created in the first place.
Yep. That's
So
a
many
whole nother
Anunnaki
ball
never
game.
left.
They probably
That's
never did.
exactly that's exactly what the Anunnaki created humans for. Just to be smart enough to work the mines, get the gold, and not question, what's out
Dolphins.
there.
A lot of the, what is it? Just South American tribes that have legends that their people became dolphins. Let me ask ChatGPT which ones that is, so I'm not sounding stupid here.
I still need to go on one of those ayahuasca things one of these days. Those retreats.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it's gonna happen.
But it's not cheap either. That's the thing.
Amazonian tribal mythology, especially among indigenous groups living along the Amazon River and its tributaries. Ticuna people in Brazil, Dasana. I'm just gonna butcher these words. I'm not gonna say them all, but I didn't know history. I would love to hear it. Are we talking about
The dolphins.
Groupons are cheaper? There's Groupons to go do ayahuasca.
That'd be amazing. I slightly doubt it, but
Dude, it's really, to be honest, it's really not that expensive. Like it's
it's
maybe,
getting
so
there.
it's 1,200 for like a 6-day retreat in like a really really nice place, and you get like multiple sessions. Um,
My only issue is the puking and the diarrhea.
yes, but that's actually, when you really research it, is one of the most important parts. because you're purging. So this is again something a lot of people don't know about this, don't think about this. Your emotions and all that are being stored inside of you. They don't
Hmm.
leave. So all that anger, all that frustration, everything that's happened to you is stored inside of your body, and it manifests itself in different ways. Manifests itself as cancer, manifests itself as different health conditions. And a lot of people don't realize that they are literally holding on to baggage that's killing them. And that is what the purge is doing. It's purging your body of all that negativity. It's real. Like, there's a documentary called Emotion. It changed my entire perspective on existence. That is why I don't let myself get angry. I don't hold on to anything, because I know that that is real. Thoughts and everything are real. Like, I don't let myself think about, oh, the worst possible outcome for things, because I know that that possibility exists inside your mind, because we're co-creators.
Hmm.
And ever since then, I've been 100% better mentally than I was. Obviously, I still have dips, but
Well, it's interesting going back to dreams. Have you ever felt emotions in your dreams?
yes, definitely felt emotions and dreams and like
And they feel like they're much more bigger in a dream than they are here.
more
Like if I'm,
powerful, definitely.
yeah, if I'm angry in the dream or sad, it's much more intense than
Yeah,
feeling
like
emotion
it could
here.
become. It's because it's like you're essentially a full on your creator in your dreams. So like your emotions are truly going to create. Like you're gonna feel it. Like fire might create, anger might create fire, and all that kind of stuff. But
So does that mean that basically emotions here are emulated or filtered somewhere?
I mean, emotions are like conjure. I mean, they're conjured up by our brain, but they're definitely real. Like as far as I think it's hard to explain. Like they
Yeah,
obviously are real, but they have far more power in your dreams. But that is really, I think, that would, if anything, show you exactly how much power your emotions truly have.
that's what I'm saying. Because your body is just a vessel. If you're channeling emotions, they're being filtered in a way. But when you're dreaming, you're getting the raw experience.
Hmm. Well, that's true.
Because remember that time I had that dream that I got so upset and I was so angry that literally lightning started coming down and blowing up stuff around me.
Right. So yeah, the idea that channeling. So that is a good point, because a lot of people are driving around on what's called autopilot. They're letting their
Hmm.
subconscious control them completely, and they have no control over their emotions. Once
Hmm.
you start gaining conscious control and not allowing yourself to think these things, that starts to dissipate. But otherwise, yeah, you're essentially just, your mind is conjuring up all this nonsense for you. And you can conquer almost any mental disorder just by really gaining conscious control over it, meditating.
Yeah. Now, at the same time, is it the ego feeling the emotion or is it you or both? It's just so many variations or
I
variables.
think that ultimately the you is the person that is up here questioning you.
Hmm.
Like the your brain and your subconscious is like the programming that you've attained all your life, and your job is to rise above that programming and start to truly question who it is that you are.
Yeah,
Like
because I'm always
you are
saying,
above here. This down here is really not you. It's your subconscious programming. I
yes,
don't know
I'm
how
saying this is Ricky, but I'm not Ricky. The body is Ricky. I was named Ricky, but that's not who I am.
it does. Yeah, it's a hard habit to break, dude. It is a tough habit to break, but I used to be the type of person that like I would imagine something happening to my kid, like, oh my God, that's like the worst possible thing. And then I live in those emotions. But when you live and put an emotion to a thought, you are amplifying that like 100-fold. We are co-creators. We have the ability to influence our reality. That's
Manifestation.
like the deepest secret of humanity, is that we influence our reality. We can quite literally manifest things if you practice it.
What's it called? The Secret. That book that basically the
Yep, there's a movie
manifestation came
too.
out.
Just
I
watch
haven't
the
seen it.
movie. It's a lot of us that have short attention spans are not going to read, but
Mm. I've seen it. It was really interesting. Like creating your what do you call it? The board or whatever
The
that you
vision board.
vision board.
One really good trick is called a mind movie. So, getting a mind movie, there's actually a website that you can create one, and you essentially get up and watch it every single day, and it's supposed to be one of the best tricks known to that field. I have not taken the time to go pay for one, but I'm gonna
Mm.
probably like. It's one of those things like I keep having to get slapped around by the universe, and it's like, dude, you know this is real, 100%. I've obsessed with this subject for years. I know it to be true. I used to have the worst luck imaginable, and I realized that I was creating my own luck. I was the one behind all of it because of my negative thought patterns. 100%.
Mm. Yeah, and it's true. Is that to say thought manifests into reality?
I see your comments. Either way, I read the book of knowledge. No, I have not, but I will if it's good.
Book of knowledge. I'm not familiar with that one.
We'll never
All
be
right.
perfect. It's important to know that there is no such thing as perfection. Perfection is a myth. That is a perception. Like that is what is perfect to me is going to be different for the next person. And what is it? What is what is normal for the spider is chaos to the fly.
Yeah. Like the saying, the higher dimensional beings are perfect. Jesus was perfect, but he wasn't. He was better than we are, but he wasn't perfect.
Should I use it in one of my sleep meditation audio? Yeah, but yeah, it's good if you can create like a voice recording of like things that you want to accomplish and play it over and over again when you're drowsy. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Call it self hypnotize. Shit, I gotta go though pretty quick. Like, I realize what time it
Oh
was.
yeah. It's after 10 o'clock here. Yeah. All right. Well, it was a good show. We definitely need to expand on this one at a different time or see what we can talk about next week.
Yeah, I'm down to keep talking about this. As I'm interested now. Got
Yeah,
the
me too.
mind fire. That's one gets the because spirituality and this whole like law of attraction idea and everything is all linked. Like you start to really get in control. That's really all that matters is getting in control of you. But
Okay. So next week we'll talk about manifestation, law of attraction, and all that good stuff.
all right, hopefully better connections.
We'll see. All right. Well, we'll catch you later, man. Great show. All right. So we're going to wrap up tonight. That was my co host, Mr. JB333. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned next week, same time, and we will expand further on law of attraction, manifestation, and all that good stuff. And thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you later.